Okay, functions, these are the 4 problems I'm going to go over with all of you. So the first one, we're going to be condensing down to 1 log. And then these ones are all exponentials, and these are different ways to solve exponentials. So you can hit pause. You may need maybe not half a page per problem, maybe a quarter page, but we're going to go through each one. So let's do that. Okay, so this is the first problem. The first thing we want to do is we want to do the power rule. The power rule tells us that we can do that with our exponents, right? If they're in the front, then they go to the exponent. Okay, so then after we apply that power rule so that we've got everything that belongs with everything, we are going to go ahead and apply the product rule left to right. So we will do the product rule because that is the first one we see with that plus sign that says we're really just multiplying these. And then we have 2 subtractions, so we apply the quotient rule, and both of those go down in the denominator. So if you have any questions on that, please let me know. I've been telling my students all day, if you wanted to, you could have, let's see if it'll let me do this. So if you want to just apply the product rule, you can make this negative, and turn these both into plus signs. I'm drawing with a mouse instead of my stylus. If you do that, then you multiply everything and you have negative exponents, and you can't have negative exponents, you put them in the bottom, so then you end up with this same answer. So that's just another way to solve it. Again, whatever makes sense to you, I want you to use. We're learning tools, you guys get to decide how they're used. All right, so the first question we always want to ask ourselves when we have an exponential is, can I rewrite these bases as the same base? So does 77, can I write that as 6 to any base? Or I don't even think I can write, yeah, so 6 would have to be the smallest base. So I am not able to rewrite them as the same base, and since I'm not able to do that, now we're going to use log, and we're going to log both sides, and we're going to go ahead and apply the power rule. So when we do that, that means that that exponent is going to go in front of the log. Now, something that we've seen is, like, if you've seen any number, normally we could just distribute this, right? If it were just a 6, right? But it's a log 6, and log 6 is just a number. And if it were just 6, we could distribute it. Then we're going to do that with log 6. So now let's distribute. And then it's just solving. We have negative x times a number plus a number equals a number. Well, we've seen this for a long time. We just want to get the x's all on one side and the numbers on the other. And when we do that, we end up with negative x log 6 is equal to log 77 minus 3 log of 6. So now, to get that x by itself, we have a negative 1, and it's being multiplied by negative 1 and log 6. So we can actually divide. We can isolate the variable by dividing negative log 6. So negative 1 divided by negative 1 is 1. And because this is multiplication, we can do this. And log 6 divided by log 6 is 1. And so that turns in, the x is the only thing that's left there. And so our final answer is log 77 minus 3 log 6. Okay, I'm going to hit pause, and I'm going to show you how to type this in your calculator. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to hit alpha, y equals, and you should see this box come up, and then you're just going to hit enter. And then you should see a fraction. And then we are going to do log 77, close the parenthesis. Then we're going to do minus, so you need to use the subtraction, 3 log of 6, and then that's going to be divided by negative, so make sure you use the negative key right here, negative log 6, close the parenthesis, and hit enter. And you should have gotten 0.575, whatever all this is. I will tell you what to round to. All right, so that is the first one. So go ahead and get that in your notes. Okay, we are going to do this next one. So, we already did this one. Go back. There we go. All right, so now we're going to do this one. We have example 3. Can we write 4 and 7 as the same base? We cannot. And since we cannot, we are going to go ahead and have to take the log of both sides. So we are going to take the log of both sides and apply the power rule. Since we have the power rule there, we have the x in the front on the right-hand side, which is different than the last one. We are going to go ahead and distribute. So when we distribute, I get x times 4 log, 2 times 4 log, x times log of 4, 2 times log of 4. Then we need to get all of our x's on one side, all of our numbers on the other. So we're going to subtract. Just to make it easier, I'm just going to subtract x log of 4 on both sides, and I end up with 2 log of 4 is going to be equal to x log 7 minus x log 4. Then we're going to factor out an x, because notice that they're both being multiplied by x. That gets the x on the outside so that I can divide it. Now I have x times this. I can get it away from and totally isolate the variable. And I end up with 2 log of 4 divided by log of 7 minus log of 4. This turns into a 1, so I just have an x by itself. And then this is what you're going to plug into your calculator. So go ahead and do that. Let me see what the answer is. I'll plug it into mine and we will go over that. So again, we're going to hit alpha y equals, and then we're going to type 2 log 4, close the parenthesis, arrow down, log 7 minus, not negative, but minus the right-hand side of the calculator, right-hand side, minus log of 4, close the parenthesis, and make sure you close the parenthesis for the 7, because if you don't and put it inside, that would be bad. It's not going to compute correctly. If you mess up, you can hit clear and it'll just clear out what, like either the numerator or denominator, wherever you're at. It won't clear out the whole thing. So you should have gotten log 4.95 is the answer to that one. 4.95. So make sure you can do that. All right, our last example. All right, this is a little bit different. We've got a binomial and a binomial as an exponent. So we want to ask ourselves, can I rewrite 6 and 5 as the same base? I cannot on this instance. So since I cannot rewrite them as the same base, we're going to log both sides and we're going to apply the power rule. This time, I'm going to have to distribute x times log 6 and 4 times log 6, but I've also got to do that on this side. So x times log 5 and negative 3 times log 5. So now we can distribute that. We need to get all of our x's on one side and all of our numbers on the other. And then we are going to, this is what I did. I subtracted x log 4 here. Oh, I forgot to. I also added 3 log 5 to both sides. I just forgot to type it right there. So we end up with 4 log 6 plus 3 log 5 is equal to x log 5 minus x log 6. So, of 6. So now we need to factor out an x. And once we factor out an x, it's the same solving that we've been doing since basically the first problem like this. So we're going to divide both sides we're going to isolate the variable by dividing both sides. And we should get, go ahead and try it. So alpha y equals, enter, 4 log 6, close the parenthesis, plus 3 log 5, close the parenthesis, arrow down, log 5, close the parenthesis, minus log 6, close the parenthesis, hit enter. You should get negative 65.79. All right. Make sure this is something that you can do. You are able to use a calculator for these things. Don't forget, the one thing you always want to check for is check to see if you can rewrite them as the same base. Tomorrow we'll be going over the formative that we took today. This is the formative that we took today, so if you wanted to do that at home or wanted to see where you were at, here it is. There was a typo when I printed it out for students. So again, use no calculator here. And, oh, look, my face is going to be in the way here. I'll move this. So here's the rest of the problem. So go ahead and hit pause and do that. Otherwise, I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you all tomorrow.